Good morning, dear students. Today we will be dealing with theories of knowledge, which forms the next topic in my series of lectures about knowledge. Please refer to my other video lectures for the topics in this unit. To begin with, the demarcation of philosophy from science was made possible by the notion that philosophy core was theory of knowledge. The four main theories of origin of knowledge are: number one, rationalism. Rationalism is the theory of knowledge according to which reason or intellect is the main source of knowledge. Rationalism rejects all knowledge derived from sense experience. Socrates and Plato are the earliest rationalist philosophers. According to them, true knowledge originates from reason. The rationalism that was advocated by these two philosophers became articulate in the philosophy of Descartes, Spinoza, and Leibniz. However, the rationalist philosophers differ among themselves regarding how much importance should be given to experience in yielding knowledge. Some rationalists regard experience as wholly misleading, while others attach some values to it. They say that the knowledge given by experience is confused knowledge, but in spite of their differences, they all agree that reason alone can give us certain and perfect knowledge. Rationalism is also called a priori theory of knowledge, as according to this theory, knowledge is prior or independent of experience. As it has been mentioned above, modern rationalism begins in the philosophy of Descartes. Descartes is considered as the father of modern Western philosophy. Descartes was a mathematician, and according to him, the perfect form of knowledge can be gained only through mathematical demonstration. Such demonstration consists in starting with self-evidence principles and deducing other truths from these self-evident principles. Descartes divides ideas into three kinds: adventurous, factious, and innate. Adventurous ideas are imposed on the mind from without. They are not clear and distinct. Factious ideas are created by the mind by conjunction of ideas. These are created by imagination. They are also not clear and distinct. But innate ideas are clear and distinct. They are implanted in the mind by God at the time of birth. Spinoza gave a developed form to the rationalism initiated by Descartes in modern Western philosophy. Like Descartes, Spinoza had immense faith in reason. Like a true rationalist, Spinoza holds that we can know truth through reason. Infinite extension and motion are modified into finite extension and motion or finite objects. Thus, finite minds and finite objects are modification of the one and same substance. Leibniz was a famous mathematician. He held that the world has logical and mathematical order. Laws that govern this world order are rational. Therefore, the world can only be comprehended by reason. Number two theory, empiricism. Empiricism is a theory according to which experience is the source of true knowledge. It is a reaction against rationalism. In direct opposition to rationalism, empiricism holds that knowledge is derived from sense experience. The empiricists hold that the so-called a priori rational principles are actually derived from experience. As contrasted with rationalism, empiricism is called a posteriori theory of knowledge, because according to this theory, knowledge is posterior or dependent on experience. Locke revolted against Descartes' rationalism and criticized his theory of innate ideas. According to Locke, The mind is passive in receiving ideas, but it is active in comparing and combining these ideas. According to Locke, the power that an object has to produce idea in our mind is a quality. But he makes an important distinction between primary and secondary qualities. Primary qualities belongs to the object themselves. They cannot be separated from the object. As such, he calls them objective. Secondary qualities, on the other hand, are mere sensations or ideas in the mind of the knower. They are sensations produced in the mind by the primary qualities. They vary under different conditions, they are subjective. Hume developed Locke empiricism to the logical conclusion. Hume is a true empiricist and he does not accept the existence of anything that is not given in experience. As such, he denies the existence of mind, matter, and God. Because these are not given in experience. According to him, all knowledge comes from impressions and ideas. Impressions are lively perceptions and images are their faint copies. There are impressions of sensations or external perceptions and impressions of reflection or internal perception. They constitute the original materials of knowledge. Number 3 theory, criticism. The doctrine of criticism is synthesis of rationalism and empiricism. As we see, neither rationalism nor empiricism is a satisfactory theory of knowledge. By denying the role of experience, rationalism has become one-sided. Empiricism also is one-sided as it denies the role of reason in knowledge. However, rationalism rightly emphasizes the universality of necessity of knowledge, but it is wrong in accepting innate ideas. If we accept innate ideas, then we also will have to accept that there is no progress in knowledge, as knowledge consists simply in analytical deduction of innate principles. Therefore, empiricists are right in emphasizing that knowledge is acquired through experience. But the problem with empiricism is that it denies universal and necessary knowledge as experience gives us only contingent truth. However, true knowledge should be universal and at the same time it should be novel. Kant tries to reconcile rationalism and empiricism in criticism and give a satisfactory view of knowledge that is both universal and contains novelty. According to Kant, no knowledge is possible without sensation. But he also holds that knowledge is not wholly derived from experience, as it cannot give us universality. The part of knowledge that is not given by experience is a priori. Number 4 theory of knowledge is intuitionism. Intuitionism is the philosophical theory that basic truths are known intuitively. Basically, intuitively, one knows something because it is true, universally and objectively true. But intuition is not supposed to guide our every action. According to intuition, our intuition helps us discover fundamental morals. But we still have to decide how to put those into action on a daily basis and make the best choice for any given situation. There are many branches of intuitionism, but in its simplest form, this theory rests on three beliefs. First, that objective moral truth does exist. There is such a thing as right and wrong, and your personality, society, or culture do not change them. Second, fundamental truths cannot be broken down into simpler components. This idea, first majorly articulated by the philosopher G. Murray in 1902, states that a basic moral truth is like any basic truth. And the third belief of institutionalism is that human beings are able to know these truths through intuition. Now, this theory admits that we can twist the misinterpret basic truths because we are emotional beings. But the fact remains intuitively we know if something is right or wrong. In conclusion, it can be observed that the philosophers are considered rationalists or empiricists on their choice of whether they regard experience or reason as the main source of the knowledge. We have studied that according to the empiricist, mind is a clean slate at birth, while according to the rationalist, mind is creative and not passive. Critics hold that knowledge begins with experience, but it stimulates the mind to become creative. Intuitionism is a way to explain how we can find moral truth while still acknowledging that humans are emotional beings who interpret their morals very differently. Thank you and have a nice day.